Hello everyone, welcome back to SliverStar Arcade and more, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I'm so excited. I haven't been able to play this in so long because I got a job, and it's one of those jobs where like you work 10 hours a day and you're exhausted by the end, but it is the long weekend and the family's out of the house. So, in the last episode, we made it to Great Britain. We made it to London and we met the Supreme Chief Justice, or wherever he is. And he said that he will let us be a lawyer if we can pass his test, which is we must be the lawyer in a murder trial. The man has no defense, no one to advocate for him. And I have a feeling that the man will be defended might be Herlock. What to do? Mr. Soda, can I just ask you something? Careful. From this position, I can perform a Mr. Soda takedown in an instant. 1 second. Let me just turn my headphones down low. I know. Mr. Naruto, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. That's that word. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, you had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. I think we already examined. Can I just ask you something? Careful. Okay. Alright, so it really wants us to hurry. But I'm going to do one quick... Wait, what? Oh, do I not have my pin? Actually, let's look at this. These are the scales of justice. They're a symbol of defense, aren't they? Yes, that's right. The scales are a symbol of fairness to show that all are treated equally in the eyes of the law. And they're a warning to those who enter the courtroom without an impartial mind. But if they're the mark of the defense, it would be more auspicious if they were weighing more heavily on the not guilty side, I think. Very impartial, I'm sure. Oh. That's a little sad. The lawyer's name is embroidered on the inside here. Look. Kazuma Asogi. This was his band, of course. He had his heart set on this study tour in Great Britain. I'm sure he would have found the truth he longed for here. But he lost his life before he even had the chance to see the place. I have such a strong sense of his hopes and dreams when I look at this armband, though. That's a really nice detail. Now let's present it. Okay, yeah. It's all the same. Alright, let's move. This oppressive air, it's really quite stifling. The office of Lord Chief Justice Strongheart in Great Britain what was that? Strongheart in Britain's great capital city, London. Its grand stone architecture and the echoey thick of the vast cogwheels lend to an air of authority. The Old Bailey. London's highest criminal court with an illustrious past, the Old Bailey. This is where I'm to take my test and prove my worthiness as a lawyer. Wait, this oppressive air is really quick. If we hurry and catch a cab, we may just make it to the courthouse on time. Alright, yeah, let's go. Huh, those look like, I know I bring up the show a lot, but that looks like the constabulary in, Murdoch Mysteries, which takes place in Canada. So it makes sense, because, you know, Canada is very influenced by Britain, especially in the 19th century. I really like the uniform. Anyways, 18th February, 9:45 a.m., the Old Bailey defendants, Antich I can't say that word. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were going to rattle loose. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a genuine... 1 second. So it's pronounced Guinea. Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. Wait, am I pronouncing that right? I don't know if that's getting picked up on the mic. Guinea, yeah. Which I guess is a unit of British currency. It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were going to die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started. She looks adorable. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here. But there's no sign of him at all. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. Are you alright, Mr. Naruto? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very lonely at this moment, or very alone. Top of the morning to you, young madam. That is awful. What? Top of the morning to you, madam, sir. Oh! What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? With a look at these expressionless faces from the east that I use. We're from Japan, yes? Ah, Japan, is it right? Say no more. So, how much do you need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mrs. Soda, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. Enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept a large sum of money. Woohoo! Ah, that hit me in the eye. Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving to you no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial that's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be in the dock. So it's not Sherlock we're defending. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about the thing, all you have to do is stand there next to me, nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial is going to start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have asked, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Blustering blazes, do you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names? No, sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. Suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park there in the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? 'Tis called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park in central London. A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGillid wouldn't do for the city and its queer old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they've got the gall to say I'm a good-for-nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGillid. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Alright, don't pass out. Mr. Naruto, perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves, while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGillid? Or McGilded. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I have to say, you daft idiot? I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. Whoa, that was quick. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry. I know what you're thinking. 'Tis charter of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well? Well... we are going to save. That's the autosave. Wow, our first save was still, like... our first save was 4 hours into the game? Oh no, that was just at 4 p.m. I wish it told you how much time. Anyway, so yeah, it's still a nice detail. So anything with Herlock, you know, has a Herlock silhouette. And then there's our silhouette. Not at all. Not at all. Although, it is a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry? Did he just say Reaper? I, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barak von Zeeks. He's the prosecutor. Oh boy. I think I know who that is, and I'm excited. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeek stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. I'm doing such a terrible voice for him. And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached the desperate situation whereas there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fellow at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Barak von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? The defendant is summoned and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. This counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here, I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry? I've decided I'd have to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? But then you made an appearance. A student of law, wouldn't you know? 'Tis no accident, I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. I can't keep this voice straight. I don't know what I'm going for. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. Mr. Naruto? The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Yes. Something that Cosmo would have never allowed to have happened. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. It's happening then. My first trial in a British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Do not hit me with a... Don't you do it! Okay. I was afraid they were going to hit me with a to be continued. 18th February, 10 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Listen to that fire roar. And like, not just like my computer fans. This is something. Whoa! I guess we got a jury. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country determine a person's guilt or innocence is always a solemn affair. May I say something, Mr. Naruto? Oh, yes, what? Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know, but I just can't help it. Woo! In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGillen. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willings to proceed. The prosecution. How do I do his voice? He's a vampire, but he's British/German. 1 second, folks. Alright, so I looked up what his voice is like. Only slightly, no spoilers or anything, but I am not going to be able to do his voice justice. I can't wait to hear it for myself. I'm going to try my best, alright? I've said this line so many times it has no meaning in my head anymore. Alright. Ah, great, now I got stage fright. The prosecution is fully prepared. That's what we're going with. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense. Wow, I forgot his. I forgot his voice already. Counsel for the defense. You appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Those eyes please me. Nippon. What, Nipponese? I don't know what that word. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. Trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb. Alright, hold on one second. Okay, so I knew this line was coming up, but I thought it would be spoken because, well, there's a voice clip of the voice actor for this guy saying this line, so I find it weird that the line is not spoken. A cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes. No, Mr. McGillard. Yes, my lord. Oh, Jesus, what was that? Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fella is a student from some little island off in the Far East. It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those lessons. Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance? I'd like to think that's acts of chivalry to the great British Empire proud. Listen to Mr. McGillard. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Did you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please may we go play in McGillard Park? I'm all giddy, I can't speak. It seems as though everyone in the public I can't speak! Why can't I speak? It seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGillard. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGillard, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Oh yeah, that's right. Juries are supposed to be random people. I totally thought this was going... Wait, does that mean it's going to be different every trial? And we have to, like, figure out, like, what... And it's going to be, like, trial science, where we have to, like, figure out, you know, what resonates with them? Oh, that's the way this is going to go. This is going to be so cool. Yes, my lord. If the task to send the rioters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of rubbish promptly. Naturally, I agree. Ha! Any criminal here will be soon wishing they never set eyes on me. I feel a chill. Oh, don't mind me, dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. I must finish these mitts for my grandson. Mr. Naruto, those people are... The jury, yes. That's something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right, I've only ever read about it. But here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentence according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from two completely different points of view. But how exactly do the jurors give their verdict? That I don't know, but I'm sure it will become clear as the trial progresses. Yes. Prosecutor Von Zieks. Prosecutor Von Zieks. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounce your fame. I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. I can't do his voice just. So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstance to which the court should be aware? I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto. As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, open statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks, known in the community as thrice-fired mason. Sorry, thrice? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he furred? What is that word? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he furred were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence. The autopsy report has been entered into the court record. A report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner. It gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. A photograph of the crime scene has been entered into the court record. A photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in his abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partly obscured from view by an old crooked hat. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? Mr. McGillicuddy's gloves had blood on them? Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. The defendant's leather gloves have been entered into the court record. The leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time of the incident. There was a blood stain on the right glove. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I've even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGillicuddy.
Well, rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGillard? To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilton, so it is. And when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. Now I ask yous, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it.
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Oh, and there's the other three.
Order! When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. It is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witness in at once.
Oh, witnesses.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
Which we will get to in the next episode. This is so cool, and I have so much time today to record. This is going to be awesome. Alright, so, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, stay safe, have fun, and have a great day.